First of all, are you okay? Are you all right?
I'm more than okay. I'm safe, and I'm very grateful. To the Russian Federation. They are keeping me safe, and I feel safe. And yeah, I'm not being targeted in this country, and it's beautiful here. I have to say, I've been to a lot of cities around the world, and this is one of the most stunning cities I've ever been to. It's really gorgeous.
It is. It's spectacular. So
Mhm.
you did not go over there to flee. You went to Russia
Oh,
when? Well, you had never been. When we met, you said you'd never
no,
been
yeah.
there. You took your first trip just recently. So when did you go?
Well, to take you back just for a second, I during COVID, which you mentioned, I published a book, and nobody's book that was published during COVID really did that well, to be honest. And so it's been kind of limping along, and I just decided, I have the opportunity to have it translated. And so I was coming here to oversee the translation, and then it was being internationally distributed. And I was invited on an interview for Channel One. And so I was here for about a week. That was the plan originally.
And when
And
did
so
you
I
get
packed
there?
that way
In
too.
in in late May?
Correct. May 20th.
Okay. I know that you have a lawyer now. She released a statement this morning saying that the plane ticket was paid for by, I believe it was Russian television. Who paid for it?
It was Channel One, Russian television. So yes.
Okay. So why did they pay for your ticket to Russia?
They wanted me there for the interview, and we discussed my book and my case.
Okay. And then where were you staying during that week?
I stayed at a very modest accommodation. So yeah,
A
there
hotel or the
in
home of someone?
yeah, in Moscow. I don't really want to say.
Okay. No, you don't have to
I'm
get
kind of
specific,
being
but was it?
mindful of security issues.
No, I understand that. But was it a hotel or was it the home of somebody?
Yes, yes. It was just like a hotel, and a very modest one at that.
Okay. And so you're over there, and at that time, was your intention to return to the United States? And if so, when?
Well, yeah, I was actually coming back probably, it's a couple of days travel because you can't go directly into Moscow, as you know. So it required me to go to another country and then have a layover and then come back. So it was about a 2 day, 11-hour flight from the secondary country. So 5 hours to that country, a flight, and then another 11 hours back to the United States. So I was going to leave that Saturday and be home probably by Sunday night if I made my connections correctly.
So you had a round trip ticket.
No, I had a different. They gave me a one way, and then I was getting another one way because I think I was going to go through a different country on the way back home.
Hmm.
Um, yeah, because I had come through Istanbul, and I wasn't sure about leaving through Istanbul because at that time there was having the elections and whatnot. So I
Hmm.
was thinking about leaving through Dubai.
So when you were in Moscow, had they purchased you a return flight home prior to you receiving the calls that we're going to
Yeah,
talk about
they
on alleged
actually,
threats?
while this was going on in the middle of the week, they were about to purchase my ticket, and I was deciding if I was going to go through Istanbul or Dubai. And then we were in conversation, and then I started getting information that if I returned, that I might be at risk of being picked up at the airport.
Okay, so let's talk about that. What was the first inkling you had that you might be in danger of being arrested or worse?
I was getting some feedback from people that and this is I don't conceal anything, Megan. With you, I've been very open, and I don't like to do that. But when it comes to other people's safety in their cases, I can't out them. But there are other people who have sought safety in this area, and they're former journalists, former intelligence, and they've had to not be able to go back to their home of origin anyway, but they still have intelligence ties. And I was given two separate messages that there may be, that the US government wasn't happy with my vacation choice. And there may be something happening if I flew back in. I was given a very specific message around the middle of the week when I was about to purchase the ticket. In fact, it was that day. And I was in conversations with the person to get it, arranged. And then I got a message from someone else who said, if you please think about staying because there may be a red notice Interpol warrant for your arrest if you go to an airport. So not even necessarily at the home airport. It might have happened at the connecting flight.
Now, when you say somebody told you this, is this loose talk in expat circles in Russia by somebody saying, Tara, you came over here on the Russians' dime. That could get you in trouble given all the sanctions. You better look into that before you go. I mean, was it loose talk or was it a specific threat by somebody who would be in a position to know that you were actually in legal danger?
It was two people with specific knowledge that I was in specific danger. And now you had mentioned I have a lawyer. He's an American lawyer. His name is John Levy. And then Rada, who you mentioned, Sterling, is helping with finding out where these warrants are. So she's contacting, and I don't really understand all the process. It's very complicated, Megyn. I know.
It is complicated.
I have a law degree and you do too, but this is a very specialized area of law. And I'm not really familiar with Interpol international warrants, but there is a mechanism to find out. And we're in the process of doing that now.
Right. You're trying to find out whether there is a red notice on you through Interpol, which is an international organization that helps make arrests that when a citizen from one country travels elsewhere and might be a fugitive or a potential criminal. And you're trying to find out whether there is a, quote, red notice for you with Interpol right now.
Exactly. And not just that, but I have a case that's sealed by the DOJ that was opened in 2020. And the case was opened by the DOJ and FBI. They pulled all my Twitter communications. That attorney informed me that all of my communications were taken under seal warrants, meaning that other companies like Google, Gmail, phone, whatever, but Twitter had chosen to go to court to inform me, and they had to make several motions in court to even tell me that there's a sealed case. They impaneled a grand jury. And I thought, because it's been 3 years, it's been since 2020, maybe this was over, because it had to do with, Joe Biden, and all of that. And I thought, well, if nothing happened, maybe that's the case. And what I found out is no, actually, it can sit there for as long as they want, and then they can choose to indict, like they did Julian Assange. His sat there for 10 years, and then they indicted.
Look, you did the tough thing during COVID. You paid your people and pulled your business through the pandemic. And now doing the tough thing could qualify you for up to $26,000 per employee at covidtaxrelief.org. Government funds are available to reward companies with 2 or more employees who stayed open during COVID. This is not a loan, and you don't have to pay it back. The program's complicated, but no one knows more about it than the CPAs and tax pros at covidtaxrelief.org. You pay nothing up front. They do all the work and share a percentage of the cash they get you. Businesses of all types, including nonprofits and churches, can qualify, even those who took PPP loans, and even if you had increases in your sales. You did the tough thing for your employees during COVID. Now let covidtaxrelief.org help get you up to $26,000 per employee. Visit covidtaxrelief.org. 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 Hey, thanks so much for watching. If you like what you just saw, hit the subscribe button for more clips and full episodes.